Hello. The idea of this video is to give you a better idea how to navigate your own computer. So we're going to look at basically some system preferences so you can kind of personalize your experience and just get more familiar with kind of the Mac environment, because I know a lot of you aren't necessarily familiar with that. So first, let's go up into the upper left-hand corner, find the Apple, and then we're going to click System Preferences. Now, basically, I'm just going to kind of explain the stuff in here that you may want to play with. A lot of the stuff you're not going to want to touch, but you can manipulate a lot in here and kind of make this more to your liking. So first, we're going to go to General. General, I can change my appearance. I can have blue, which you can see gives me the colors here. Also gives me blue on all my buttons and everything. Or I can switch it to graphite, which kind of makes everything gray. Graphite is my choice. Highlight color, when you highlight something, or like when you take your mouse and highlight text on a website, what color is it going to pick? I like to make that orange. And then sidebar icon size. So if I have my sidebar here, and so if I have my sidebar on the left-hand side of a window, this is as large as the icon would be. So you can see I can make them small, medium, or large. I'm going to do large just so I can see it better. You have a small screen on your MacBook 11-inch Air, so you may want to put this down to small just to give you some more real estate. Show scroll bars. A lot of websites are funny to scroll on, especially Aspen, when you're trying to scroll left to right. So here you can automatically show the scroll bars based on your mouse or trackpad. So if you scroll, they're going to appear. You can do it when you're scrolling, or you can do it always. If you want to be able to actually click the scroll bar all the time and see it all the time, you need to select always. Click in the scroll bar to jump to the next page or jump to the spot that's clicked. A lot of people like this function because if you click, it just goes down a steady amount each time. Jump to the spot that's clicked. Sometimes you can end up at the end of a document. Here you can set your default web browser. You can see mine is set to Google Chrome. I would either use Chrome or Firefox. If it's not Chrome or Firefox, you can go into self-service and you can download it. So close Windows when quitting an app. Yes, you want to do that. And then you can show recent items in your documents. Okay. This box allows handoff between Mac and your iCloud devices. So if you are logged into your iCloud account on this Macintosh and you're logged in on your cell phone or your iPad, you can hand off stuff in between. And then, of course, use LCD font smoothing. That's just always a good idea. All right. So that's just the general menu. Next, we're going to go to Desktop and Screensaver. This is where you can change your picture. And I believe in this video you can see that I have two desktops because I have an extra monitor that is plugged up. So I can select both desktops. I can pick solid colors, or I can actually go and find, if I put my pictures in my own pictures folder, I can select my own pictures. Okay. And then screensaver is a good idea. You don't want your screen to just sit there stagnant forever. Most of them are designed to turn off after about 5 minutes or so, which is typically good enough. All right, so that's desktop and screensaver. Dock, okay. I'm going to click here to always show the dock. All right, so you can see what these things do. I can make the dock small, or I can make it very small, or I can make it very large. Okay. And then I can also magnify. So what a lot of people do is they'll make it very small, they'll turn on magnification, and then when they go over here, stuff jumps out at them. Okay, that's magnification. If I turn magnification off, you'll see that nothing jumps out. Okay, a lot of people like to set it up that way. I don't really like it that way. I make it about as big as it's going to get and stop. Where do you want it on your screen? Do you want it on the left? Do you want it on the bottom? Do you want it on the right? I pick the right. I don't like doing the bottom, especially on an 11-inch screen like yours, because that limits the size of my web page. So I pick the sides, so that way I get more height up and down out of it. When I minimize a window, it's going to use the genie effect, which means that it's going to start big. So let me open up a Word document so you see that effect. Blank Word document. Now if I minimize this, you'll see it shrink down into the icon. Okay. All right, so I can also double click a Windows title bar to minimize. So if I have this window open, So if I go up here to the title bar and I double click, it's going to minimize it. That's what that means. Animate opening applications, I do not like that. What that does is, let's say I open up Excel, you see how this jumps up and down to open. I don't like that. So I'm actually going to turn that off and minimize that. So I don't want those to animate. Show indicators for open applications. These dots tell me that I have system preferences open, Camtasia, which is what I'm using to record, Excel and Word are all open. So I know that Firefox, Chrome, and all that stuff is closed. So I like that to be there. And I'm going to automatically hide and show the dock. Okay. Another thing I do with my dock is I only put the applications here that I really care about, because I can always go into Launchpad and I can find all of my applications in Launchpad. All right. So that is the dock. Mission control. I don't really like mission control. You can get in and play around with it, but what mission control does is it allows you to have multiple screens. So if I look at this, what are the keyboard controls for this? So if I hit F11, well, that didn't exactly work. So mission control works a whole lot better when you have a trackpad, which I don't have attached to this computer at this time. I'm using an actual mouse. So mission control works a lot better when you have a trackpad. So I don't really mess with mission control, but if you run multiple desktops, that's mission control. Okay. You can set up your notifications, which you probably don't want your notifications to pop up automatically, especially if you're going to be presenting in class. You can mess around with keyboard and mouse, but I don't recommend it, but I'll just kind of show you. Key repeat, that way if you hold down a key, it's how fast it repeats. Delay until repeat, how long do you need to hold it down before it starts to repeat. All right. You can do text, shortcuts, you can make your own shortcuts. And then it gives you have a United States keyboard, so it tells you what's on a US keyboard. Okay. Mouse, you may want to actually mess around with your tracking speed. So if I move my mouse around, how fast does it move? How fast do I need to double click? How fast does it scroll? And which one's primary, left or right? If you're right-handed, you probably want it to be the left button. If you're left-handed, you probably want it to be the right button. Okay. And if you buy your own Bluetooth mouse, this is where you can set that up. Trackpad. There's no trackpad found. So I'm actually going to connect a trackpad real quick and then be right back.